Our new unit. Yesterday we finished the unit 8. Okay. New unit. Yesterday we finished the unit. Very good. So we are recording now. Let's start. And this new unit, let me show you. Okay, this is a topic. It says weird and wonderful. So it says, is this place real or unreal? What do you think? Do you think this is a place that we can visit, or do you think this is a place from movies, from fantasy?
I think it's real, but I'm not sure
Yeah,
of the place.
I think it's real. Yeah, it's real. Okay. In Mexico, we have a very famous castle, right? The Chapultepec Castle. There are some other Spanish or European constructions. But there is a country where there are the most castles. There are many castles there. And this country is Romania. Romania is country that we would say it's very close to to, we could say, Soviet Union countries, right? Well, it's close to Russia, very close, next to Moldova, Ukraine. Okay, so there is Romania. Okay. Romania is a country with the most castles. There is even, Dracula. Have you heard about Dracula? So Dracula originates from this country. Aquí está como el Castillo de Drácula. The Legend of the Vampires, it comes from here. Romania has many castles, like you can see here. Like you can visit many castles from Romania. Okay. Very good. So this is one thing. This is one country you can visit. Okay. Very well. So Romania is a country with many castles. You can, if you want to go to Europe because you want to see any castles, so my recommendation is that you go to Romania. You will find many castles and fortresses. Okay. Well, also there are German castles. This one is very famous, and this one you can visit. This is real. Looks like a castle from Disney, no? Looks like the one of the Beast and the Belle. No, es como el castillo de la Bella y la Bestia. But actually, I think the castle that inspired Disney, I don't know if you've seen this logo, this old logo Disney has. It has a castle. So it's inspired by a castle in Germany, if I'm not wrong. So this castle, as you can see, is very high, in a very calm area, and you can visit them. So that you have two recommendations. You can visit Romania, you can visit Germany. They are both very interesting countries for castles. And third recommendation, I would say Prague. Even though there are in all Europe, Prague, Czech Republic, it's another option. The castle is surrounded by this river. And it has a view of the city. Yeah, so this is the castle. There are gardens, the royal gardens you can visit, you can enter for free. Hay castillos los puedes entrar gratis in Prague. You can have the views from the castle. Amazing. Okay, so there you have three recommendations. You have Romania, Germany, and Czech Republic to see castles. There are castles too in Poland. I haven't had the opportunity to see many, but I've seen just one. But there are also castles in Poland. Actually, like I told you, right? In every European country, you will find castles. But I show you the countries that have the most castles, right? So you can go there when you visit Europe. So, it's very probable that this castle is real. Very, very probable. Maybe just the clouds, they are a little bit weird, right? But you can get very interesting landscapes. So we're going to learn about story elements. We're going to learn this as the vocabulary. We're going to learn in this unit the third conditional and modals of speculation, regrets. And well, so it's going to be a class where we're going to review all the conditionals. So let's start. Okay, we'll skip to this from this part. Then we will go back. Okay, let's go directly to the topic, or maybe we could watch the video to introduce the unit. Let me see, maybe we can watch this. I think we can watch it later. Okay, so this is third conditional. Third conditional is the last of the conditionals that we will learn. In English, we have, remember, zero conditional, first conditional, second conditional, and finally, we have the third conditional. Okay. So the third conditional and the mixed conditionals. That's what we're going to learn today. What is a third conditional? Okay. So third conditional, here you can read. Okay, we're going to read, and then I'm going to explain. Please, Nubia, could you read this chart? Let's read it, and then I will give you the explanation.
Yes, teacher. Use the third conditional sentences to describe imaginary situations and impossible consequences. Use if plus past perfect for the imaginary and untrue situation in the past. We would not plus have plus past participle for the impossible consequence. If he hadn't heard those noises, we couldn't have gone on an adventure.
Okay, I think we can stop here. Thank you. So the third conditional, you use it to describe imaginary situations with impossible consequences in the past. This is something we use to talk about the past. Okay. So let's remember all the conditionals that we have learned at the moment. Zero conditional. Zero conditional, remember we use the simple present and the simple present. If you leave, the door closes. Okay. If you leave, the door closes. This is like something that always happens at 100%. Si te vas, la puerta se cierra. Why? Well, because maybe it's an automatic door, or I don't know, but 100% all the times, every time you leave, the door closes. This is something that happens every time. This is a zero conditional, where we explain things that are rules, laws, common sense, and things that happen the 100% of the times, like I said. Then, first conditional. Let's see, first conditional we have, if you leave, the door will close. Okay, this is first conditional. In the first conditional, we use simple present and the future will. Okay, if you leave, the door will close. Okay, so this if you leave is the consequence. We're talking about the condition in present, and the consequence is in future. I'm just telling you a future consequence of doing something. Maybe in this situation, in the first conditional, it's not like an automatic door. Maybe it's because I will close the door so you don't come back. You know, if you leave, the door will close. It will not be open. Okay. So maybe saying that the door will not be open again, right? Y quizás diciendo que la puerta no se va a abrir nuevamente. Okay. You could use it like a metaphor, right? To take an opportunity, to take a chance. Take the opportunity. Toma esta oportunidad. Take the opportunity. If you leave, the door will close. Okay. Very well. So first we have here zero in first conditional. Zero conditional when something happens 100% of the times as a natural consequence. Maybe because the door is automatic, so every time you leave, it closes. But maybe you can come back, it will open, and then it will close. In this case, I'm saying what is the consequence, the future consequence of doing something for a specific situation, not 100% of the times. Okay. At this moment, do you have any questions between the zero and the first conditional?
Yes, teacher. If zero conditional, what is the structure?
Simple present and simple present.
Okay, teacher.
In
Thank you.
zero conditional. In first conditional, simple present
also.
and future. Or you can use will, might, may, could, but generally is future.
Okay, teacher. Thank you.
Yeah, very well. So zero conditional, simple present and simple present. First conditional, simple present, future will. Okay, these are called the real conditionals. That's important. Real conditionals. Why are they called real? Because these things can happen in real life. Now we use some other conditionals that we will call the unreal conditionals. Okay, we'll write them on this side, on the right side. And this is second conditional. Second conditional. If you left. In this case, we're going to use simple past and would after this. Would. If you left, the door would close. The structure for the second conditional, we also checked it before, okay? But we remember, second conditional, you use the simple past and would in the simple present. So second conditional, we use it for imaginary situations in the present. Something hypothetical and something that I don't expect you to do or fulfill, okay? So differently from the real first conditional, I don't expect you to do these. It's just imaginary. It's just a supposition. Okay. So here the sentence will be translated like, if you left, si te fueras, la puerta se cerraría. So now I'm not talking about something real, right? I'm just telling you something that is possible in case you do that. But when I write the verb in past, if you left, esto indica que es poco probable que lo hagas o que no creo que lo hagas. If you left, si tú te fueras, la puerta se cerraría. Okay, very well. So here you're talking about an imaginary situation, something you don't expect to make true. And then we have the third conditional, that is the one that we're going to learn today. Okay, so third conditional, you use it to talk about imaginary situations, like in the second conditional, but the difference is that now is the past. Okay, so we have third conditional. So you would say, if you had left. Now here we use the past perfect. You use have and a verb in past participle. Okay, if you had left. How can we translate this? If you had left, we will translate it like si te hubieras ido. Si te hubieras ido. So had in this case would be like el hubiera, right? So this is an imaginary situation, but the imaginary situation is in the past. If you had left. If you had left. If you had left, and then because I'm talking about something that happened in the past, so the consequence is in past. If you had left, the door would have closed. Now I am using a have after would and the very past participle. So the result, the sentence is talking about an imaginary situation in the past. Si te hubieras ido, si te hubieses ido, la puerta se habría cerrado. Okay. But when I use the third conditional means that you didn't do something, right? Al decir esta oración quiere decir que no te fuiste. Por lo tanto, la puerta no se cerró. Okay. If you had left, the door would have closed. Okay. Very well. A strange example about the door. I just want you to see the differences between the zero, first, second, and third conditional. You see, they are structures that are using different situations. And remember that we have two very big categories that are the real conditionals. We have real conditionals, and we have unreal conditionals for theories, hypotheses, suppositions. Okay, you use the second and the third conditional. The difference between the second and the third conditional is the second conditional is in present. Here is like si te fueras. Y aquí es si te hubieras ido. So here is present, here is past. Okay, this is the third conditional. This is the topic for today. Do you have any questions?
No, teacher, thank you.
Okay, now we are going to check exercises. Check the first example. It says,
Excuse me, teacher.
Mhm.
The zero conditional is always in present. Is correct?
yes, that's correct.
Okay. Then the first conditional is first present, and the second part is in future.
Yes, the future. Correct.
Okay. Second conditional and third conditional, I don't understand, teacher.
Okay, you want the structure or the meaning, the function?
The the structure, the instruction.
Okay, very well. In the second conditional, so we use the simple past. Okay, you use simple past,
Yes.
and you use would. Would is not a tense, okay? Would no sería como un tiempo como tal, it's just a mood. So would and the verb in base form, okay? Base form verb. So that means you don't affect the verb after would. Okay, so simple past and would. This is for the second conditional. That's the structure. Why simple past? Because the simple past after if it makes the verb a supposition. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, third conditional. In this case, we write we will need to use the past perfect plus would, and you could say the present perfect, but actually I would say that it's just have verb in past participle. Yeah, that will be like formula structure will be this little bit long. Like this. Okay. When you use the past perfect with a conditional, so it's a supposition in the past. So it's like si te hubieras hecho algo, ¿no? Hubieras ido, hubieras comido, hubieras dormido, etc. Right? And then would and have is like, will be translated like habrías or habría, right? Closed, cerrado, se habría cerrado. Okay.
That's in the third conditional, is that right?
That's for third conditional, yes.
Okay. What means the example of the second conditional, teacher?
What is the meaning of the example of the second conditional?
Yes.
Okay, so it would mean, si te fueras, la puerta se cerraría.
Okay.
So supposition in the present.
Okay. Thank you, teacher.
Yes. Okay, someone else, do you have any questions about conditionals?
I have a question.
Mhm.
So will have is habría? ¿Eso
Yes,
dijo, no?
would have, habría.
Okay. Had is hubiera.
Hubiera. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Very well. Okay, excellent. So let's go. We see the first example that it's the third conditional. It says, if he hadn't heard those noises, how can we translate this part? If he hadn't heard those noises, how do you translate this?
Si él no hubiera escuchado esos ruidos.
Very well. Si él no hubiera escuchado esos ruidos. You can see that for the negative, you say hadn't, right? Hadn't. If he hadn't heard those noises, he wouldn't have gone on an adventure. Okay. No habría ido en la aventura. Well, this context is from the previous reading that we're going to read in a moment. Okay, very well. There it is, guys. There it is. So that's the first example. If the teenager had stolen Gracie, si el adolescente hubiera robado a Gracie, he, how can we complete this part?
Would have.
Very well. He would have. He would have gotten away. Se habría escapado. Okay. Let's check the next one. What would have happened? This would be this is how we make the question. So you would use would have, okay? What would have happened? ¿Qué habría pasado? What would have happened? Ladrón,
If the thief had
If-
stolen,
if the thief and had stolen. Very well. Or you can make it another way. You could say, if the thief, puedes empezar también con la pregunta con if. You can say, if the thief had stolen Gracie, what would have happened? If the thief had stolen Gracie, what would have happened? He would have gotten away. Se habría escapado. Okay. Now we see the contractions or the pronunciation because can be complicated, right? So this would have happened can be like tricky, right? Difficult to pronounce. So you would say, would have has a contraction que sería would have. Okay, would con have contraemos como would have. Like this, would have. So you see, what would have happened? What would have happened? Ya es más fácil. Okay, what would have happened? What would have happened? What would have happened if the thief had stolen? Okay. I'm going to tell you something about have. Have also has a contraction. For example, if you have, I have, you can contract it like I've. Okay, similar to would. So these are the contractions. With would and with have, you say would have. With I had and I've, you would say I've. I had, I've. Okay, so how can we contract this part? It says he would have gotten away. How can I say this phrase, this sentence faster?
He could have gotten away.
Mhm. He would have, you don't say would have, you would say he would have, he would have, he would have gotten away. He would have gotten away. Okay, very, very good. Actually, would is not the only possibility. With the third conditional, you could also say could have. Okay, could have sería simplemente podría haber. So it's the same like would. Okay, could have, you have, the contraction, could have. Could have. Entonces podemos decir, he could have gotten away. Podría haber escapado. Podría haber huido. He could have gotten away. Could have, would have. Okay. So these contractions, because when you say have, would have gotten, it's like too much. So that's why we have contractions. Okay. Very well. So let's make a sentence. We try to practice with the contractions. Okay, so to practice your pronunciation. If I had known this before, I would have done it differently. Si yo hubiera sabido, sí, sabido, ¿no? Si yo hubiera sabido esto antes, lo habría hecho diferente. Okay. Please read the sentence, but with using the contractions. Okay. Remember that I have, you would say like this. I'd. Would have, you would read like would have. Okay, please, can we have Heidi, please? Can you read this sentence with the contractions, please?
Sorry, teacher, what sentences?
This sentence with the contraction, please.
If I'd known this before, I would have done it differently.
Good. If I'd known, see, instead of if I have known, you can see if I've known.
If I'd known,
I would have done.
I would have done
Would have.
it different.
Would have
Would have.
done it differently. Very well. Any questions about the contraction?
No, teacher, thank you.
Okay, good. So another thing that can help you, the third and second conditional, is when you talk about regrets. You see that when we talk about the third conditional, there's nothing we can do because it's the past, right? So we're just talking about how the past could have been differently, right? So this is the topic, wishes and regrets, okay? Wishes and regrets. Que wish es como un deseo, regrets como un arrepentimiento. This is something that we use when we talk about, no, I wish I hadn't known that, hadn't done that. Me gustaría no haber hecho eso o así, right? So the wishes and regrets, we will use an S structure. Okay, so you have, for example, for wish, I wish I had decided before. Desearía haber decidido antes. Okay, so again, I use I wish, this part, and here I use the past participle. Okay, I wish I had decided before. You wish you had known it. Desearías haberlo sabido. You wish you had known it. And again, you can contract, right? I wish I'd decided. You wish you'd known. You wish you'd know. And so on. Okay, this is a wish. Wish or regret. I think more like a regret, right? Okay, regrets. If only, si tan solo, right? Just like, if only you had told me before. Si tan solo me hubieras dicho antes, right? If only you had told me before. Okay. If only I had chosen differently. Si tan solo hubiera escogido distinto. Okay, so these are regrets using if only. If only. Okay, very well. And here there's an expression that is alas, it's kind of formal. So the expression alas is like ay, es como nosotros en español como decimos ay esto, ay aquello, okay? So yeah, we have the expression alas. Sorry, it's just with one L. Alas. Alas es como cuando decimos en español ay. Sí, es como un poco raro, ¿no? Alice, you can see. If only I had chosen differently, but alas, you didn't tell me. Okay. Si tan solo hubiera escogido distinto, pero ay, no me dijiste nada. Okay. Okay. So, any questions about wishes and regrets?
You didn't tell
No?
me in the example, if only I had chosen differently, but alas, you didn't tell me. The verb is correct. Tell me or told me.
Because it's negative, so we use didn't because it's negative.
Okay.
But alas, es diciendo, pero ay, no me dijiste. You didn't tell me.
Okay.
Yeah?
Thank you, teacher.
Yes, of course. Okay. So now that we know this structure, I have a few practice for you. Okay. Here, okay, we will check. We have a few questions that will make you think and have you use the third conditional. Okay. All right, it's here. Here we're going to get rid of the text. Okay, so now we're going to talk about these questions. It says use conditional forms to discuss the following in pairs. We're going to talk about the first question. Okay, the first one is, what things would you have done differently if you have known then what you know now? What things would you have done differently if you had known then what you know now? So the question is like, ¿qué cosas habrías hecho diferente si hubieras sabido en ese entonces lo que ahora sabes? Okay, try to think about something differently that you would have done. In case you had the knowledge, the experience that you have now, please write on the chat, what things would you have done differently if you had known then what you know now? Anything in your life. For example, I think that I wish I had trusted in myself more. If I had known then what I know now, I wouldn't worry because everything would be all right in the end. So I would have trusted myself more. I wouldn't have worried too much. That's my only regret, that I think that most of the time I was always worrying. I was thinking of the worst of the scenarios, and life is not like this. If you are negative, you can auto-sabotage yourself. So I wish I had been less pessimistic. How about you? Please write on the chat, what things would you have done differently if you had known then what you know now? Okay, did you think about something? You can leave your answer here on the chat.
Is sentences not only?
Sorry?
I say a sentence in third conditional.
In third conditional, yes.
Lo intento. I try. If I had known that the English is very important, I would have studied before.
Good. That's a good example. Excellent. Very well. Someone else? You can
So-
say it or you can leave
Sorry,
it in
una
the chat.
pregunta.
Yes.
Could have dijo que era, ¿qué digo que significaba?
Could have. Could and
Sí.
have.
Sí.
Could and have is similar to would have, is podría haber. So you can say, I would have learned English, habría aprendido inglés before, or I could have is possible, podría haber aprendido inglés antes.
Ah.
Would have, could have.
But I can use in the third conditional.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, I know you're thinking still about your sentence. Okay. Miguel says, if I had been an engineer, I certainly would not have built a skyscraper. Okay, very good imagination. There were times where I had the opportunity to choose like different careers. But you know, you don't know exactly what you want when you are a teenager. Now, I wish I had studied nutrition. You know that I'm very interested in nutrition. And I think I would have studied it. So I don't know, maybe I will do it in the future. I would like to study nutrition. Okay, well, let's see. The third one says, what conditions? Okay, it says, I wish I had trusted more on my decisions. I would have been a great theater actress. Good. Okay, I think, you know, that's very important, like self-trust, confidence in yourself. That's very powerful in life. Okay, very well. Then number 3, I'm going to skip to number 3. What conditions you would attach? Yeah, Heidi answer. If I had listened to more tips, I would have done a few mistakes. Good. So you listen to advice, you have better results. Okay, number 3, what conditions you would attach to making major changes in your life? Example, choosing a university, getting a job, moving abroad, buying a house, forming a relationship. So the question 3 is inviting you to analyze your life to what are things that affected you the most so far. Okay? What is a very important factor that made your life the way it is now? Maybe, I don't know, you studied a career, and thanks to that career, now you have a very good life. If you hadn't studied that career, your life would have been very, very different. Example, I'm going to do the example with myself. If I hadn't learned English, my life would have been very differently. Very probable I would have never traveled to anywhere in the world because you need English to travel. The second thing is that I wouldn't have enough money to go there because that's thanks to my work that I can do that. The third thing is that maybe I wouldn't have known my wife and I wouldn't be able to communicate with her. So for me, English is like one of the most important things I've ever done. Like my life has affected me so much for good that I think that it's just like all those events, family, friends, places to visit, everything is affected because of English. So I think that if I didn't speak English and if I hadn't learned English, so my life would be very different, and I think it wouldn't be that good. So for me, that would be a major change in my life. The other one I think would be getting married. Of course, getting married is a very important decision. How about you? What conditions you would attach to making major changes in your life? You also use the third conditional. Miguel says, if I hadn't studied laws at UNAM, I would probably wouldn't have met my wonderful wife. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, you see, there are some decisions. Maybe you didn't decide UNAM and you will go for one or another. So in that case, you wouldn't have met your wife and you wouldn't have your family in life. You see, I think that sometimes life is very, very strange. You don't make one simple decision and the rest of your life is different. Okay, one more. What conditions you would attach to making major changes in your life? Do we have another example with you guys? One more? I hadn't broken with that relationship, I would have been unhappy all my life. Very good. Yeah, sometimes wrong people can lead to many problems. You can meet a beautiful person and you're happy for the rest of your life. They help you a lot in your life. But if you marry the wrong person, oh, that's difficult, right? Okay. Well, guys, so I have to finish a little bit before now, but well, thank you for joining us. Tomorrow we continue with this. So thank you so much. See you. Take care.
Thank you,
See you.
teacher.
See you.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Take care. Goodbye.
Bye.